Welcome to Nuos. My name's Gordon Burke, and today I'm spending the morning with Rob Whitewood on Australia's beautiful eastern coast. And Rob is the founder and co-director of Dynamic Mindworks, and Rob's going to share a whole lot of fantastic and inspiring content with the Nuos community. And so, Rob, where did it all start? And welcome to Nuos.
Why, thanks for having us here. And the answer to how it all started was I was quite happily going along, having a career, doing all sorts of wonderful things in acupuncture and martial arts. So I'd already done about 13 years worth of study in acupuncture and Chinese medicine. I'd represented Australia twice, and so I was cruising along absolutely brilliantly. And then I got married, and I'd have to admit my experience in the worlds of relationships hadn't been that developed at that point in time, but I'd married this lovely Japanese lady, and of course we then proceeded to have a child. And in moving from Japan to Australia, unfortunately she experienced a psychotic episode, and as a byproduct we went through all of the psychologists and the counsellors and the professional people in order to be able to seek assistance, and we didn't actually have much of a result. The final outcome was that the psychosis got so bad that she actually kidnapped my son and took him to a country that was not a signatory to the Hague Convention, and so he was gone, and she was gone. I discovered many years later, around about 17 years later, that he'd been living in abject poverty, never having gone to school, because he wasn't a resident of the country. He was just basically just a person without a country for that period of time. Sort of growing up in such an environment meant that he had developed what we might refer to as non-organic failure to thrive. In other words, physically he was one age, but psychologically and mentally he was a much younger age. And so because of that separation, because of that sense of loss, I said, let us not let that happen to another person if I can do something about it. And so I sold everything that I owned and ended up in England studying neurolinguistics, because I'd had a little bit of experience as far as observing the methodology. And that was around 25 years ago that all happened. And so I continued to do my studies in England for a period of time, back to Australia to do more studies, then across to the United States to do my trainer's certifications, then to move back. And that's how it all came about. And so ever since, I've been pretty much being of assistance to people, literally to make problems go away. And it's the small problems that build up over time that actually end up being the big problems. And so if we can get back into history, if we can figure out the structure of a relationship early, then we just don't have to have the real accidents that come about, which they're no accidents. They're just things that have been put in place from long before, and that accumulate over time to become the issue that they are.
Wow, Rob, I mean, that's wow. We've spoken a lot about events in lives that bring us to our purpose, and that when we look back in our life, we can see how the dots join together to bring us to our purpose and to serve and help others.
Yes, absolutely.
And wow, it's out of such a personal turmoil and crisis has created such a beautiful life that you have
now. Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's interesting. So wow, well, we're going to share a whole lot more content today with all the community at Nuos. So Rob, thanks for that little taster. That's inspiring to hear how you've come to where you are now in Dynamic Mindworks.
And as we said, it is frequently from crisis that, well, if we look at the concept of crisis in the characters of Chinese, it means danger and opportunity, and how those two things dance together. And so that's the mechanics of it. It always is. An easy life doesn't necessarily produce the most results. Sometimes it's through pressure and heat and difficulty that we create the true diamond of life.
Yeah, that's came straight to my mind when you said that. Diamonds is pressure and heat and time, and creates the real character and the real purpose in people. Well, thanks for joining us here at Nuosphere today. If you've found this content interesting, or you've liked what we've had to say, please share it on Facebook, like the post, and thanks for joining us at Nuosphere. With gratitude, it's Gordon Burke.